Hello YouTube, what is up? My name is Wizzy Cruz and welcome back to another episode of Shoots and Reviews. Today I'll be talking about Hotter Than Hell, which came to Gladstone, and I'm going to talk about the bands, I'm going to talk about photos that I got, and I'm just going to give you a first-hand recount of what sort of goes through my brain and stuff like that. Sort of bring you into my world of shooting concerts. So stick around and enjoy the show. So this is the third year Hotter Than Hell came to Gladstone. We've had the likes of Jimmy Barnes, John Stevens, Killing Heidi, Grinspoon, a lot of big Australian acts come through and blow our minds, and it's really cool because we do live in central Queensland, so it's good to have a lot of these big name artists come to the town, even if it's just for one day. So to kick the day off, to start the festival in Gladstone, we had Area 7. So starting off the festival, we had Area 7. I was quite a big fan of their set. Having been in pop punk bands before, there was a lot of energy that I was able to take away from them. And I played a lot of tracks off Bitter and Twisted, which was their 2000s album from memory. Hang on, a quick Google search. Yeah, it was. Yeah, with Second Class Citizen, Bitter Words, and Let Me Down. It was a really solid set. They threw in a cheeky VB interlude, as well as a cover of Am I Ever Gonna See Your Face Again by the Angels. It was a lot of high energy straight off the bat, and probably the best band to start the festival. And if you've watched these videos before, you know how much I love talking about energy and just increasing it. So yeah, straight away, boom, they're up there. Now photo wise, as you'll see, we've got the GoPro there connected on top of the camera. I've got a 24-70mm lens underneath it, and with this you'll see that I'm capturing the bands. But the editing style this time around, I've decided to go something a little bit different. I really wanted to push the clarity as well as the colors, make them a lot more vibrant. It's not usually what I do. I usually try to keep it more of a journalistic approach, keep it very similar to what was there. But this time around I want to be a bit more artsy and sort of push more of a colored artistic style that I'm not used to. But because Area 7 are such vibrant characters themselves on stage, once I started editing these photos of Area 7, I just knew that this editing style was going to stick for this whole festival. So yeah, that's where I went with the photos, and that's what Area 7 was like. 28 Days is a movie about Sandra Bullock, who is a journalist who has alcoholism, who has to go to rehab. I feel I'm talking about the wrong thing right now, but seriously, what's up with the sequel? What's up with the zombies? I don't understand how it starts off with Sandra Bullock and ends up with zombies 28 days later. Probably talking about the wrong thing. Either way, 28 Days was a fucking awesome band to see live. They're still one of those great Aussie rap rock bands, and rocking it as a four-piece actually sounded a lot more heavier, a bit more grungier, dirtier, I think is probably the best way to put it. Time certainly hasn't stopped them, and they've still got a very loyal fan base, which was really cool to be with. And the energy again they brought, just like Area 7, was really high, straight up as well. And they were one of the first bands I actually got to shoot in Gladstone back in 2015, so it's cool to see them return. Photo wise, I wanted to work with the band in a sense that I just capture them in their element. So with guitarist Simon Hepburn, he gets this really infectious smile over his face, and I really wanted to capture that in a photo, so I'm sort of waiting for it, and as he's going for it, he just cracks this nice big smile, and I capture that, and that's one of my favourite photos from the day. As well as Damien there on bass, get a good one of him as well. Love my basses, being one myself. So that was 28 Days, and I'm really glad they came back to Gladstone and showed us how to do it. So if you've ever played a Tony Hawk's Pro Skater game, chances are the soundtrack's left some sort of impact on your life. Music-wise, I think everyone remembers like Superman by Goldfinger or Guerrilla Radio by Rage Against the Machine. For me, it was Tony Hawk's Pro Skater 3 on the PlayStation and Bodyjar, hearing Not the Same for the first time. I can't remember how young I was when I first played that, but I remember hearing that song and I was just like, what is this? To learn that Bodyjar was Australian was like another cool factor as well. So after the decade and a half, I guess, wait to finally see these guys live was well worth the wait. I think my favourite part of them as well is, even though, you know, they're a little bit older, they still party hard on stage. They've got that youthfulness, not only in their lyrics and their songs, but in their stage presence and just how they hype up the audience and how they talk, you know. It was a real fun time just watching them and just taking it all in. I know my friend Daz was on the front barrier and he was just cheering along the whole time, so yeah, Daz, I'm really glad you got to see Bodyjar in your backyard of all places. So with Bodyjar, once again, I wanted to bring in the clarity, I wanted to bring the color, I also wanted to capture a bit more of the atmosphere of what the festival was like, as well as capture the energy that they're all about. So with that, I got a cool photo of Cameron Haynes, who is the singer of Bodyjar, and he has just that bit of lens flare pop behind him, just behind his neck there, and I thought that was a pretty cool sort of photo. The lights were really starting kicking during their set, as well as capture one of guitarist Tom Reed. I really like this shot as it's got the Hotter Than Hell banner behind him, and it just makes for a real cool sort of profile shot, and it really captures the stage in the background of it. And yeah, that's Bodyjar. When it comes to Magic Dirt, the first thing you notice about them is the stage presence and charisma of frontwoman Adelita. She's like Australia's answer to Joan Jett. She's got that punk rock vibe, grunginess and gnarliness and just everything, and then just turns the edge up just slightly. Now Magic Dirt had only recently reformed, it'd been about 9 years, but they certainly didn't hold back from giving an absolute onslaught of a show. They've got these big droning guitars and Rickenbacker bass making these huge sounds on the stage. Of course though, we've got the likes of Plastic Loveless Letter, Watch Out Boys, Sparrow, and Locket. When it comes to the photos, there is one particular photo that is going straight into my portfolio, and it is this one. There's something about this photo that I absolutely love. From the little bit of movement that's captured, just the eyes, the hands, the way the bass is positioned, the bass itself, the colors around it, and just the editing style. It's probably one of my favorite photos in recent history. That's not even a lie. Just something about it, I feel like it just ticks all the boxes of what I like in a photo. But yeah, that's Magic Dirt. That's, what more can I say? Second last band on the lineup is Shihad. From New Zealand, they're one of my favourite alternative rock bands there is. I really only started getting into them around the Five Eyes album. Think You're So Free is one of those songs I always come back to, especially when I'm working out. I just love those chunky guitars that comes along with it. And lo and behold, it was the first song of their set, and I was just like, I'm totally down. And with their set, you know, we're getting all these white flashing lights. All the guys are wearing all black t-shirts, all black clothing. So photo wise you'd think it wouldn't make for much, but in terms of their set and their sound, it sort of adds a bit more atmosphere to what they're about. And one of the cool things is their set featured quite heavily from the General Electric album, which was released back in 1999. So you know, we got to hear My Mind Sedate, the General Electric, Pacifier. We also actually got to hear the song Run from the Pacifier album, which was actually the first song I was ever introduced to by them back in high school. So yeah, we had these big white light strobes, made it quite tricky to sort of get photos for in the 3 songs we had. Lead singer John, love getting him. He makes these really cool sort of poses around the microphone. This particular one I got just as we were leaving the pit. It was sort of the first time that we had any other color flash other than just straight white onto the musicians on stage. So I grabbed that one before we left. And of course, before the set even started, they had this nice glowing blue, and it was one of the only full band shots I got of the day on the 24-70. And it's just that moment before it all kicks off. You can sort of feel the energy of like, something's about to go down here. And that wraps up Shihad. I'm glad I got to see him again. Last on the bill was Spiderbait, and if I'm being completely honest, it was a lot different to what I was expecting. I went into this show really only knowing 3, 4, 5 songs by Spiderbait, and all 5 I got to hear, which was awesome, but it was everything in between that was sort of like, oh, I didn't think that this was what Spiderbait was. It was a bit slower than I thought it would be, and if I'm being honest again, I felt like Black Betty was drawn out just a bit, even though the drum solo was pretty damn cool. But also photo-wise, other than, you know, getting a photo of Cram. Cram was a little tricky to get from where he was located behind the drum kit. We got to hear Buy Me a Pony, Calypso, fucking awesome, Black Betty of course. Yeah, it wasn't what I was expecting, and I think that's my fault in the end for going in expecting something really different. And that covers it for Spiderbait. So before this video wraps up, I just want to say a huge thank you to the team at Amnplify for making this happen. This show actually meant quite a bit to me. I almost didn't think I was going to shoot this show, which is really, really weird. Go check them out. Link in the description to the gallery, full gallery of what I captured at the event. And also a big thank you to my uncle who gave me his GoPro that I could borrow for the weekend. I've still got to give that back to him at some point. And of course, all the music featured throughout this is from Epidemic Sound. I'm not sponsored or anything, I just think they're really cool. So yeah, that wraps up my video, my little review, my little photo explanation, I guess. So yeah, I hope you've enjoyed this video. If you like what I do, please consider subscribing, giving a thumbs up, sharing it with a friend, dropping a comment below, believing in Eskimos, subscribing to PewDiePie, and giving your mum a big hug. I think that covers everything. Alright, so yeah, thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next video. Cheers.